So let's go. This is that new ish. Keep them standing in mind.
Welcome back to Oakland. And Frank, you wanted to slow things down a little bit. How hard is it to take that from concept to execution against the Warriors?
Yeah, you can talk about all you want. You can show them all the tape, but you know you have to get out there and feel their pace. You know, and hopefully we have felt it and we can adjust to it now.
You gave Paul George a day off this week to help him recharge. How does his energy level look to you?
Well, it's still early in the game. Okay, we're a little bit out of sync offensively. We just got to get into a rhythm.
Thanks a lot. Let's go back to Dave Pasch and John Barry.
Well, the Pacers shot just 32% from the floor in that first quarter. And you saw that number on the fast break points, the Warriors with 14, and they came early, John, in the first 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, well, as Coach Vogel said, you know it's coming, but sometimes teams aren't ready for the pace. The game just hits them in the face. You get hit in the face. You're just not ready for the intensity of the game right away, and these guys come at you immediately. And clearly Indiana not ready for it.
Meanwhile, Monte Ellis just picked up his 3rd foul. He played 5 minutes, did not score in the first quarter because of foul trouble, and he'll go to the bench here with Joe Young replacing him. You know, Ellis, teammate of Steph Curry for a couple years before he was traded for Andrew Bogut back in 2012, and there was a point where Warrior fans and some of the people in management and ownership wanted Ellis over Curry.
There was a decision that had to be made that they felt that was too small of a backcourt going forward. And if you took a poll here in the Bay Area, Ellis was the guy that they wanted to keep. And Joe Lacob came in, the new owner, and the decision was made that Monte Ellis was going to be the player to be moved. And actually, Joe Lacob was booed. Chris Mullin was getting his jersey retired. They brought out Joe Lacob and they booed him because it was right after they dealt Monte Ellis. And I think he made the right decision. I don't know. Would you agree?
With that said, as Turner gets the bucket, you know, Ellis has had a nice career for a second-round pick. When he was here with the Warriors, he averaged 20 points per game. But right, looking back, it's an amazing thought that was even a discussion, given what Steph Curry has done. Spates off the mark, rebounded by Young. 14-point lead for Golden State, a minute into the second quarter. The Warriors trying to get to 40-4 as Young connects again. And Joe Young off the bench with 7 points for Indiana.
He can score the basketball. It reminds me a little bit of C.J. McCollum up in Portland. Kind of the same size and finds a way to get his shot off. He's a professional scorer.
That's a terrific backcourt up there with Lillard.
Oh, big time.
And McCollum. Young penetrating, throws it away to Livingston. He was fouled on the pass by Budinger. That's the first on Chase Budinger. Sean Livingston, who came over to the Warriors last year on his 10th team in 11 seasons.
Here we
We're
go.
going to look to see if it's a clear path foul.
Every time. Why do you have to look every time for a clear path?
Well, because if it is, it's 2 shots on the ball rather
it's
than
not.
just a common foul.
There was a player up here, but my point being that every time a clear path foul is called, they go to review. What? If you think it is, it is. I don't get it. And it has to be called by the officials here. It's not called by the replay center.
Right.
Why is that? Now, he grabs here. There's a player in front of the basketball.
And he was below the top of the key as well.
Below the top of the key, so it cannot be.
So the ruling on the floor is upheld.
Just trying to keep the game going, Dave. You know, that's all. I like to get a little pace.
That was quick, though. Rodney Mott.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
But Livingston, you know, you talk about backup point guards or guys that can come off and play several positions. I mean, now you got him off the ball with Iguodala. I mean, the Warriors can throw so many different things at you with the point guard position.
He's 6'7", 6'8". Terrific mid-range shooter. Got the post-up game. Post-up Miles Turner that time.
Couldn't get it to go, though.
But what a awful injury he had back when he was with the LA Clippers, breaking the leg, and never knew if he would even play again. He appreciates every day that he gets to put on a uniform. He's a really great kid, and it's fun to see him as Miles Turner knocks down this jumper.
So Turner averaging 7 points per game, but has scored 40 over his last 2.
That's just 10-point game, Dave.
6-0 run by the Pacers. Barbosa dribbling through traffic, turns it away. Here's Young in transition. Waits for Budinger, and he's hacked.
Well, this is the same unit we talked about the first meeting. Huge lead for the Golden State Warriors, 30 plus, and the bench unit came in that fourth quarter and was outscored 40-20. Steph, Clay, and company had to come back in the game, and right now this bench unit letting Indiana back in it.
And Thompson due to check in shortly. Foul was on Spates. Second team foul on the Warriors here in the quarter.
You're checking flagrant? Checking for a flagrant foul here? Mo Spates.
That's what they're looking at to see if
well, he got caught in the air.
Excessive physical contact by Spates.
He got caught in the air, and so he's off balance. And let's see, he gets hit as he starts to fall, and the arms come forward.
Didn't hit him in the head or neck area.
No, I mean, did he make a play for the basketball? I'd say yes. And the follow-through wound up hitting Budinger, but let's play on. I don't believe this should be a flagrant foul. We'll take another look as Budinger goes in straight up in the air. A lot of times that's not even a foul, but when you bring the hands over, clearly it is a foul on Mo Spates. I don't think we're going to get flagrant with that. Do you?
I don't think so. I think that's a common foul. But sometimes, look, we get surprised by these. How many times
Most
we've
of the time.
said, that's not a flagrant, or it should be a 1 and ends up being a 2. I think they may actually call this a 1. Yeah, it's going to be a flagrant 1. I guess they felt because of the follow-through that it was excessive physical contact, so it'll be free throws in the ball. Spates can't believe it. So we're both wrong.
Yeah, well, I just thought his momentum, he's clearly off balance here. He gets hit low, and so he's following forward, so the arms are going to clearly come down. I didn't think he took an extra swipe.
Yeah,
did he?
He's trying to block the shot.
Sure, and you're up in the air suspended, and you lose your balance. But it is what it is.
Get live scores and stats, custom alerts, and video highlights with a free NBA app. Download the official NBA app on your phone or tablet's app store now. 34-25, Golden State over Indiana. The leading scorer is Draymond Green with 13 points. Steph Curry 7. Klay Thompson 5. 7 points for Joe Young off the bench. Averaged 13 per game over his last 2. He was in the D-League for a good portion of his rookie season. Here's C.J. Miles brings spark off the bench, and he was hacked by Iguodala. So 2 free throws coming for C.J. Miles. Third team foul on the Warriors, first on Andre.
Got 3 fouls already here early in the period. And clearly a reach in there from Iguodala, but I tell you this, coming off the bench all my career, it's very difficult when you have a team as good as this team. And the Warriors get out to a big 14, 16, 18-point lead. It's inevitable that the other team's going to make a run. The problem is you put your bench in, that's when they make the run. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the bench has no chance. Most of the times they expand on that lead, and they do a great job. But a lot of times once that run is over, the initial run, the other team's going to make a run. And a lot of times it's that bench unit that goes in there, and they get the quick hook.
Hey, you got to do it for 14 years, though, at least, if you get the quick hook.
Yeah, I got the quick hook for 14 years. Thanks.
Warriors have gone now 3 minutes without a field goal, and the bench for the Pacers doubling up that of Golden State, 14-7. But again, a lot of that is Joe Young. Here's Turner facing up on Barnes. Tough shot. And Buddinger's got great hops. Tried to stick it back in. Could not. It's an 8-point lead, though, for Golden State. 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Iguodala threw it away. Tried to hit Spates. Got a timeout on the floor. Golden State's lead was 14 after 1. It's at 8. 3 minutes gone by in the second.
It's that sound time for the season ticket holder of the game, presented by our friends at ZTE. Now, here's a season ticket holder. He's from Oakland right here, a loyal season ticket holder since 2001. Big-time Warrior fan. Give it up. Eric Standifer right here in the house. Come on. Now, Eric, this is your proud moment, but let me first tell everybody who your favorite Warrior player is. Mr. Steph Curry, of course, our NBA All-Star and MVP. Great choice. But tell us, what is your favorite Warrior moment, Eric?
October 27th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. when they rolled up the championship banner here in Roracle Arena.
You heard that, fans. October 27th, unfurling the NBA championship banner. That is a good Warrior moment indeed. Now, as a thank you, ZTE is giving you a brand new S Pro 2 projector right there. Enjoy that. And in my hand here, you have a Warriors prize pack filled with lots of goodies right there. So, you know the drill. With that said, Oracle, can I get a whoop whoop? Yes, our season ticket holder of the game, Eric Standifer. Make some noise. Let's party. You ready?
The Warriors season ticket priority list has surpassed 20,500 members and continues to grow. Sign up to get priority access for season tickets when they become available and exclusive pre-sale opportunities. Sign up online at warriors.com/priority or at the ticket information table.
We on fire tonight, we on fire tonight, we on fire tonight.
We're back on NBA Friday, presented by State Farm. Draymond Green with 13 points to pace the Warriors, who lead Indiana 34-26. All-Star starters released last night. We're throwing it out to you on Twitter to vote for your biggest starter snub. Is it Draymond Green, Andre Drummond, James Harden, DeMarcus Cousins? You can vote now at ESPN NBA. What do you think?
I'll go Draymond Green. But that's a good thing. That means the league's got a bunch of stars and a bunch of guys playing good.
Here's Young on the drive and got a whistle.
I think a legal D.
Yeah. Defensive 3 seconds, so a technical. One shot T. I'm with you on Green. I think he's going to get in. I think the coaches will name him as a reserve next week. He's had a tremendous season. 4th year out of Michigan State. Klay Thompson was a starter last year. He was Kobe's injury replacement last year. And
does he get in? Do you think they get 3? I mean, you got to have 3 guys from the best team in the league.
And Klay Thompson, after a bit of a slow start, as Young shoots the free throw. Thompson's averaging 24 per game over the last 2 months.
Been on fire from downtown. He was hovering around 35% from 3 for the better part of the first month and a half of the season, all the way up now to 42. And you know, Mark Jackson called it right. Best shooting backcourt ever. I think everybody will agree.
Oh, Miles missed the easy one. So a blown opportunity there for the Pacers. They had a chance to get 4 points on that possession. Meanwhile, the Warriors with 6 straight empty trips.
2 for 4 in the quarter, right?
Here's Livingston, gets it to drop. That's just the 4th point and their first field goal in 4.5 minutes.
Wow.
Going back to the end of the first quarter. Here's Young. And the shot clock at 5. They'll go to Turner on the block, and he's fouled by Barnes. 4th team foul on Golden State and the first on Harrison Barnes, and so Miles Turner will go to the stripe for 2.
Well, that's 2 or 3 times now the Warriors have played great defense and bailed out Indiana by reaching. Iguodala did it a couple possessions ago, and look, all you got to do, get your hand up there, contest. You're not going to block Miles Turner's fadeaway jump shot. You guys 6'10", 6'11". Just get your hand up. If he makes the shot, go back the other way.
With Turner and Young, along with the return of Paul George. Speaking of return, Draymond Green back out there. You know, the Pacers have had a really good season. They missed the playoffs last year without Paul George, of course, for most of the year. They're 23-19. They've beaten a lot of good teams. They won at the Clippers. They beat Miami twice, the Bulls, Toronto, Dallas, Atlanta. They've beaten all those teams this season.
And you have a guy in Paul George that can win you a game every single night. Monte Ellis, a guy also very good down in the clutch situation. So, you know, who's really going to separate themselves as Bogut gets the second tip to go. Toronto seems to be that second team in the East right now, separating themselves. But there's no reason why Indiana can't fight for a top 4 seed once Paul George regains his form from early in the year.
Yeah, Toronto's won 7 in a row, beat the Heat earlier tonight on ESPN. Nice move underneath by Turner.
I like his activity, huh? I mean, he can step out, face up, and hit it.
And reject it.
Block shots.
Wow.
Big-time athlete here, gets beat but doesn't give up. Chases down Livingston and deposits in the 5th row. Big-time block.
He was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year last year at Texas, the 11th pick in the draft. Backdoor feed to Barnes, blocked again. It'll stay Warriors ball. Now the Pacers hurting themselves by missing free throws in this game. They're 4 of 9 from the line and down 9 points here in the second quarter. Warriors perfect at home this year, 19-0. They've won 37 straight. Going back to January 27th of last year, an overtime home loss to Chicago. Barnes fouled, count it. He'll go to the line.
Now, and Golden State does a great job of taking advantage of mismatches. This time it's again Young. We saw Livingston post him up a possession ago. They find the mismatch and they take advantage. That time Barnes gets the and one opportunity.
Harrison Barnes with 5 points and 5 rebounds. Started every game last year. The only Warrior to do that. Hurt for a good part of this season with an ankle injury. Here's Young. And he gets the bounce. Young with 9 points off the bench for Indiana. And a steal by Young, but Thompson gets it right back, fires away. Thompson 2 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 3 from three-point land.
Young must feel like that D-back in an NFL game when the starter goes out and he comes in and Peyton Manning or Tom Brady says, let's go right at him. He's doing his job on the offensive end, that's for sure. But they're going at him on the defense. But Indiana, give him a lot of credit, hanging in here just down 8.
And Steve Kerr calls a timeout.
Joe Young, the rook out of Oregon, Pac-12 Player of the Year, shows he's got the ability down here at Oracle to fill it up.
GSW dealers. Purchase tickets tonight at the Advance Box Office behind Section 127 through the Warriors app or at Warriors.com. Ladies and gentlemen, please come out to the floor. The Junior Jam Squad.
Leg out.
Give it up for the Junior Jam Squad!
Team, make the noise! Team, make the noise! some of y'all don't. Some of y'all might get witness, and some of y'all won't, but listen, let me.
Yeah, that's our first NBA Saturday primetime game on ABC, presented by La Quinta. Bulls and Cavs at 8:30 tomorrow night. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 8, NBA Saturday primetime on ABC. It was a really interesting press conference from General Manager David Griffin today. One of the comments that stood out, John, when he said that they didn't handle prosperity well and that there was a disconnect as Thompson buries a three when the team was winning. What did you make of that?
David Griffin spent some time with Steve Kerr in Phoenix. And I think this is more about the personnel, and he knows what this locker room is like here, and I think he didn't feel like that unit had anywhere near this. Now, a jump hook from about 12 feet there, that was pretty. But to try to duplicate what's going on here, I think you're asking too much, but I think it was the locker room and the feel as Thompson gets fouled.
They say on the way up, so no goaltend, 2 shots.
And he felt something that he didn't feel there was a togetherness. They didn't feel that everybody was buying into what David Blatt was doing, evidently. I'm not saying this for me. That was him. He was there. We have to be there to really know. But obviously, it had to be right now. And I don't know if it was an overreaction from Monday night when the Warriors came in there and beat them by 34 points. But that's 5 in a row the Warriors have beaten that team. But again, talked about it all day. They haven't had many games with their 3 best players in the lineup, and when they've had those 3 best players, they've lost a handful of games. It's not like this team is broke. So it's clearly a character issue that the move was made.
LaVoy Allen from outside hits the jumper. Well, you mentioned that he didn't think that they were getting the most out of their personnel, and it seemed like that is a comment about Kevin Love and how he's being used. And you mentioned, Kyrie Irving was out. You're talking about, we were going through this last time. He's one of the top 12 or 15 players in the league.
Correct.
That you didn't have for most of this season.
Well, look, 2-1 lead against this great Golden State team in the finals last year. And look, when you have 3 great players, we saw it in Miami, okay? Chris Bosh was the odd man out, was he not? He was the guy that's going to have games because he's the guy that doesn't have the basketball. Kevin Love, with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, is not going to have the basketball in his hands. He's not a guy that facilitates. He's not a guy that dribbles the ball. So he is the odd man out. Yes, would you like to get him some more post touches, some elbow touches? Maybe so, but one of the 3 is kind of going to be the odd man out, depending on a defense, what they decide to do. So you take him out of the game, so what? I mean, is that going to change things if you take some points off of Kyrie and you go to Kevin Love more? I don't know. Miles Turner, I love his activity, by the way. He's playing terrific here tonight.
Yeah, he's got 9 points. The bench for the Pacers have scored the last 24 points. Golden State ball is bring J.A. Adonde in for more of the Cavaliers situation.
Well, Dave, a lot of people are attributing this to the loss that the Warriors put on them earlier in the week, but it goes beyond that. And even the Warriors could notice, not just in that game earlier this week, but during the finals last year, they could notice the disconnect between the players and Dave Blatt. So this is not something that is sudden. This is something that the Cavaliers haven't noticed because other teams around the league could see it as well.
It seemed like the consensus is we knew this was coming. It was just a matter of when.
Well, they brought Tyronn Lue in and gave him $1 million as an assistant coach.
David Blatt was not hired to coach this particular Cavs team. As Thompson hits a 3, that decision made well before LeBron signed. Timeout Indiana as Thompson gets his 3rd 3-pointer. He's catching fire here in the second quarter. 8 points here in the quarter. 3 threes for the game.
Well, he loves seeing the Indiana Pacers 39 a game in his last 3 against Indiana. Knocks down another one and restoring order here in Oakland.
In celebration of Chinese New Year, the Warriors are introducing a great assortment of festive apparel for men and women, including accessories and novelty ties. Choose from player jerseys, a variety of shirts, new fleece outerwear, embroidered hats, youth apparel, and unique novelty items. Get your Chinese New Year items tonight at Warriors.com. All right, fans, Hoop Hoops on the floor. It's time for the Domino's Pizza Dash. If you're hungry, get up, stand up, make some noise, show them you want it. Club 200, we got you covered as well. Who's hungry for pizza?
(51-39) the Warriors on top. Steph Curry lighting up Oracle. Her usual 2 3-pointers, 9 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds for Curry. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson 3 threes, 13 points as Golden State is in command. The Warriors have hit 5 threes so far. They averaged 13. The Pacers were down by 4 after 1. They're shooting close to 70% in the second quarter, but they've only cut the deficit by 2.
Well, how about 22 points out of Joe Young and Miles Turner? The Indiana starters have 12. Great contributions from both of those guys as they remain in the game.
Paul George with 4 points, 2 of 6 from the floor. Here's Young. Monte Ellis has been on the bench most of the night in foul trouble. That pass broken up by Thompson has really become one of the best two-way players in the league. Solomon Hill gets to the rim and scores.
A real nice take there with the left hand. Let's see if Paul George can get on track, and this team hanging around just down 10.
Golden State at 39-4, yet they play the Spurs 4 times coming up, including Monday night here at home on NBA TV. Good steal by Glenn Robinson. Ahead to Young, looking to push tempo. Turner running with him. Here's the lob to Turner.
Hello, Miles Turner. What a run he's on. 20 a game the last 2. 13 here tonight.
Yeah, 53 points the last 2+ games. Knocked out of bounds by Indiana.
A perfect pass. The no look from Young. Right on the money for Turner. And this kid, activity, great touch, can shoot from distance. Defensively, got to learn his way as Iguodala knocks down his 3.
6 3-pointers now for Golden State. Turner, by the way, all of his points have come here in the second quarter. But you lose a point. You get a great play on one end, give up a 3 on the other. George trying to keep alive the Robinson miss, and Turner is there. Inside 3 minutes to go in the half. The Warriors on pace for another 60-point first half. George trying to shake Thompson, drives and puts it in. Now Paul George with 6 points here in the first half.
Well, that's what happens when you go to the small lineup for the Warriors.
Great pass by Curry to Iguodala. Faked like he was going to throw it to the corner and dropped it off.
Absolutely. Just a little slight eyebrows raised to look like he's going to the corner, and he finds Iguodala for the easy one. But on the defensive end for the Warriors, this is that small lineup. You see no shot blocking. They've been beat on the interior. They give, Thompson misses that 3. They give up the most points in the paint in the league. No, second, to the LA Lakers.
Good defense by Curry, taking it away from Turner. They got numbers. And Paul George with good hands breaking up that no-look pass by Curry.
Look at this look off right here. It's corner all the way. He held it to the last second and then dropped it off to Iguodala for the easy dunk. How about the way he's played? The MVP from the finals, Iguodala, 39% from the three-point line. I mean, this team just shoots the lights out.
They get an easy 2 off the inbound. So 9 assists now for Curry to go with 9 points and 7 rebounds, well on his way to a triple-double. The Warriors have assisted on 16 of 21 field goals tonight. Iguodala has 7, by the way, off the bench. You're talking about him. That's right at his season average, which is a career low. But he does so much more for this team. They don't need him to score a lot. Here is C.J. Miles collecting, spinning out on the three-point try. And here come the Warriors again in transition. Curry behind the back. Thompson off the dribble. Can't score. Solomon Hill. Hey, get it sent back, but a foul is called.
Well, I think Barnes reached in.
Yeah.
Clearly, Green got all basketball. But as Solomon Hill drove by, I think Harrison Barnes reaches in with the left hand right there, gets him on the left elbow. But all ball from Draymond Green.
2 fouls on Barnes, 5 on the Warriors, so they're over the limit. Hill at the line gets the first. Coming up on the Toyota halftime, the Rumbling Thunder. Oklahoma City playing well, also the play of the week. Now the Thunder still have 3 games with the Warriors. OKC right now 3rd in the West.
You come up with that, Rumbling Thunder?
No,
that was really good, Dave.
Read it off the card.
That was really solid.
Whoever came up with it, though, is terrific.
Do you like the Thunder's chances? I mean, nobody talks about them. Obviously,
Spurs
these
or the
guys
Warriors?
well, they have to beat the Spurs, beat the Warriors, and then probably the Cavaliers to win an NBA title. That's tough sledding.
Well, they have 2 of the best players in the league, so they have a chance.
You're right.
That is a tall order, given how good the Warriors have been this season. Buttinger with a putback. Plus, if you're Oklahoma City, you're going to have to win on the road because you're not going to have home court against San Antonio or Golden State, whomever you face. And hey, San Antonio is only 2 back of the Warriors, so they could be battling for that 1 seed throughout the regular year. Iguodala short on the three-point try.
Well, and potentially, Dave, one of those 2 teams could get knocked off before they have to play them, and they could be at home, right?
Buttinger with the basket. Great pass by Solomon Hill, the 2 former Arizona Wildcats.
How about this Indiana team down 7?
And it's the second group. Curry says, I'll take care of that. His 3rd three-pointer, giving the Warriors 61 first-half points.
You have to guard him when he gets to half court. I mean, he can pull from literally almost 35 feet.
199 threes on the season for Curry in game number 44. Shot clock at 4 for George. Finds Robinson with 2, hangs, can't score. Time for Curry from half court. It's gone! He banks it in!
Gotta be kidding me.
He made one at the end of the first that didn't count. This one's good!
You can't be serious. Oh my, Dave. Really? He was mad at himself at the end of the first quarter that he didn't shoot it in time as he made it. He made sure this time he sized it up and goes glass. Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Three-pointer number 200 on the season for Steph Curry, the first NBA player ever with 200 threes 4 straight years, and he does it in style, banking it in to end the half. Toyota halftime coming up.
The NBA on ESPN, presented all season long by State Farm, is brought to you by Taco Bell's Crunchwrap Sliders. 4 full-size flavors, just $1 each.
Ladies and gentlemen, please come out to the floor love to dance.
Fire, baby. Fire, baby.
Get 'em. Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Swizzy, hey, hey, I said, come on, hey, hey, I said, come on, hey, hey, I said, come on, hey, 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 talk, talk. You getting money, homie? Show me if it's like that. You want it now? See, you know it's really like that. Dudes who snitch now, I don't really like that. I don't condone the chrome in the wall. I switch, slow down the beat, it's all love. Slow motion for me, like screwed up, make it move like the Matrix and do. Bleak the black sheep, mommy, now pick it up. Hey!
Yo, move out the way. We got Miss CLE coming.
I know you gonna dig this.
What time is it?
We ain't done.
Bring that beat back. Party people!
Step.